click on this button and say, yo, what up? How's it going, man?
Not bad. How are you?
I'm swell. Looks like we got a Bakugo deck here under the death symbol, using a bunch of set 3 stuff. I love this character. I think this character's super rad. But hit me with the elevator pitch. What do you got going on with Bakugo?
So I'm brand new. I think Nationals was my 4th tournament, so I played in a couple of locals before that, and I haven't played this game since Street Fighter Saber 2 Set 1. So a lot's changed, and I'm well behind. And I've been playing card games for a long time, and I've just found that the easiest way to try to learn a card game is to try aggro first.
Yeah.
A little bit about this deck. After I got there, I didn't have a lot of familiarity on it because obviously I haven't had a ton of reps and stuff, and a lot of times just feels like I should just be playing like a Chaco 2 instead.
Sure.
It feels like it's too honest a deck for the meta, if that makes sense. Like looking at the stuff that K2 does with all the cheating on my team, on my turn and their turn, and the different things that I see the bird doing, I'm like, man, I'm playing this game a little bit too straight, maybe.
I agree. I agree fully, actually. I think that I think that Bakugo is good. I don't think that he is the most competitive that he could possibly be.
Yep, that's part of what I ran into. So I'll give you the provenance of the deck after you get done putting your stuff in, because I don't want to tilt it on you a little bit, and you'll understand why I'm saying that after I
Sure.
tell you. So looking at it, the interaction with snack time and burst speed was something that nobody that I played against was familiar with. So every single time I pitched a burst speed to snack time, they were like, "Oh, that's pretty cool," and then you can get your keens going that way as well. Battle Arena wasn't my choice. It was good, but I don't feel like, if I listen to like a Tim Keefe video with an insane amount of math and stuff like
Ugh,
that, it feels like he
yucky.
really knows how to
What a
he really
dweeb.
knows how to press the 2 check button pretty well, and I'm still an idiot when it comes to that. It's like, oh, I don't know when I should do that versus the other.
Yeah.
And I've watched some of your Bakugo deck profiles, so I'm positive you probably threw a go for the win in that stack. I haven't seen what you're going to unleash in the sideboard yet, but you love a go for the win on that. And you know what? I'm a little lukewarm about it. You're like, I love to press that go for the win button. And you know what? Maybe I'm just don't feel like I'm smart enough to play action cards yet, or whatever the deal is. So I'm sure it's in there. I know, I already feel it. So,
Yeah, his last page is for sure.
and it's death symbol too. I had built Bakugo 2 on fire, and I'd seen some fire too. I wanted a little bit more death. I didn't realize that I was going to run into as much K2. Some of the challenges that I ran into was he doesn't have a lot of great defense answers, and he's not built to be a defensive deck in any real way. And then some of the challenge that I had was people would figure out that I don't really have any deadlock defense in this deck, or not very much of it.
Yeah.
So they just go super, super wide and just block. So those are some of the challenges that I ran into when I was there.
I love that. Yeah, that all makes total sense to me. let's talk about it. Let's talk
Sure.
about the cool things that I added. So, first and foremost, let's talk about the attack lineup that I put in.
Okay.
First off, Howitzer Impact. This is an 8 damage 4 diff.
Okay.
This
Yep.
card
Yep.
is the opposite of your Howitzer Impact Cyclone. Howitzer is another 9 damage move, yeah? Because
Yeah.
you instantly get the momentum and you instantly spend it, unless you're trying to save it for Blast Rush Turbo, right?
Right.
It is so the opener that you do. So like once again, you think about our perfect lines, right? The opener that we do
Yep.
is Stun Grenade, and then we go and we
Sure.
find a Blast Rush Turbo, and now my opponent's like not allowed to interact with you, right? The other opener you have in your deck is Turn to Dust. The other opener you have in your deck is Ignition. What's my finishers? My finisher is just Blast Rush Turbo and Howitzer Impact Cyclone.
Right.
Blast Rush is a low. Howitzer Impact is a high. This card's also a low, so it actually pairs a little better with Blast Rush Turbo.
Okay.
I don't think that you need Turn to Dust. I know that's crazy. Okay. I don't think that you need Turn to Dust. I think that Howitzer Impact will get you more wins than Turn to Dust will, being the finisher as opposed to being the opener.
Okay. I mean, I know Turn to Dust turns on my burst speeds as well, and does some of that.
With Destroy One Foundation?
Correct. Or with the loss of life.
Turns on my burst speeds.
Oh, no, that's not what I'm saying.
You mean Keen Observation?
Correct.
Love that. Love that. Okay.
But I'm okay with that. I mean, Turn to Dust is ugly. You lead with that. You stun the 2, and you do the bottom effect first, and then make them, it's just a lot of flexibility for that, and it is a high. But I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm not gonna do what I've seen a lot of people do when they're on here. I came to the deck doctor, so I'm just gonna take whatever the prescription is, and that's what we're gonna run with. So cards on the table.
Sure.
This is a deck that Kevin Broberg built for me. So I run the store that they all play out of. I've known Kevin since he was about 7.
Oh shit. Okay.
So all of those guys play out of the Rochester store that I own. And this is what he built, and we dojoed this up a little bit and played a little bit, and that's actually how the snack times came to be, and it didn't have latent in it either. So
yeah,
do your thing. Just understand that if there's some real wonky choices in here, that's him slapping things together.
Yeah,
now, obviously, he's
terrible at this
a little
game.
bit of it. He's a little different player than I am. So.
Okay. So that's good information to have. I respect Kevin as a player, and truthfully, Kevin is who I look up to for deck building. I think he's actually a genius at the game. I can tell you, I have had 3 separate experiences fighting against Set 3 Bakugo with like stun grenade and all this jazz, and as Tokoyami, and the card that killed me more often than not was Howitzer Impact. Because he would just slam it as his 4th move, and I'm like, son of a bitch, I'm out of cards.
I am along for the ride, so make the adjustments on the numbers as you see
down.
Most
Let's put
because here's the deal. I was 3-4 with it, and he played it against Tim when we were dojoing quite a bit, and he had some decent success with it, and that's where the adjustments came.
Yeah.
But this is a lot of it off the top of his head, what he wanted to do, and then we moved some cards in and swapped some cards out, and then I never ended up with a sideboard either. So
love it.
So
I don't do sideboards on deck doctors because I think it's more important for.
I'd rather get the reps on the
locals.
Yeah, absolutely.
Instant explosive release. This card sucks. This card's annoying.
Okay.
This card does so much mental strain when it's checked. It says that for the rest of the game, as soon as this card is checked, my opponent has to block the first move that you do fully.
Okay.
If they see it game 1, they see it game 2 or whatever, as soon as it's checked. I think that the perfect number for this card is 2. To keep them on their toes. And then here's the secret. I think in game 2 you side them out. I think you just get rid of them and put in a different move.
Okay.
This card says if the first move this turn hit, if it dealt damage at all, partial block, whatever, you get to just put this in your momentum when you're done with it. So it clears the card pool. And it says if this one deals damage, your next one gets +2 damage. So it's a free Bakugo as a 3 diff. It turns on Ignition, right? I play Ignition. It's a 5/5 for 4. I don't do anything to it. I smack you for 4. I then am now able to instant explosive release. I now get 2 momentum off of it. 1 from the instant explosive release itself, 1 from the Ignition triggering. From there, we play Howitzer Impact Cyclone, and I'm going to draw 3 cards off of the card that I commit.
Yeah, that's nasty.
Fucked up.
Yeah.
Absolutely rolled. Or the other scenario is my opponent blocks the Nitro Ignition. They now have a card in the card pool. They lost a card. I don't bother with the explosive release this turn. I just play the Howitzer Impact Cyclone. They had to block a 5/5 for 4. Now this thing actually gets in because they have a card in the card pool. They committed a bunch of resources to the Ignition. They get smacked, right? And that's if you have this or not, right?
Got it.
As your 4th card, as your 5th card, you get to now play this as a 3 diff, check your 5, not care, and then if this becomes a 5 damage move, the next one gets an extra +2. You put an extra +2 on it. This card actually, late in your chain, actually has some real oomph behind it.
Some punch as opposed to just kind of poking at it. Yeah.
The last big attack that I want to talk about is this double front beatdown. This card is the Tokoyami Slayer. When they indiscriminate shock you at the very end, you just like put this card in your card pool, not care, and be like, that's for 5. That's 5 damage though. He stacks so much stats early on. This card is just like I don't want to play with that anymore. I think this card is a beautiful card in your sideboard. If you were to main board this card, it's an option. I don't know if it's the option, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean a one check is
spooky.
Yeah, especially new.
Yeah. If this was the exact list that I was playing, I would take out this Turn to Dust. And so I'm going to put it in the sideboard so that it stays on the table. I'm going to take out the Turn to Dust, and I'm just going to put in the double instant explosive release. And I think that it's totally chill for you to sideboard 2 Turn to Dusts for whenever they see this, and you now have the mind games of, yeah, you have to block everything, and that includes this Turn to Dust. I'm going to stun 2 you to nuke your stage. It's for 5 damage. Catch it's for 4. All right, I'll clear it after you block it. I'm down. All right, stun grenade on the 4. Blah, 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 blah.
Great.
Yeah. Asset-wise.
Yep.
I think Ballerinas are very cool.
Okay.
I think
you're not sold on it.
I'm not sold. I think it's cooler to have Grenader Bracers. I think Grenader Bracers lets you push a little harder later.
Okay.
Your Howitzer Impact Cyclone, at the very end, you destroy for +2 speed. You get +1 damage here. You get +2 damage here, so there's 3 damage. You turn it sideways. Putting 8 damage on a Howitzer Impact, or putting 5 damage on a Howitzer Impact Cyclone is half of a 7-hander's life, all because this asset exists, right?
Love it.
I think playing this card at a 1, maybe 2 of, I think 1 is probably fine, because we gotta have foundations. Because you're right, if you get to the late game, you lose. And so, like, not building foundations is the way that you lose, and that's why Battle Arena exists here, because it counts for 2 foundations. We don't care about the if hit momentum thing. The big thing about this card, though, is it says if my opponent partial blocks, and I get my hit, I clear my card out of my card pool, it says that I still get to have the momentum for Impact Cyclone and Blast Rush Turbo, but I think if I give them, if they see turn 4, I lose. I don't know what to do. They've built up too much, right? And so, like,
part of the challenge too is like a lot of times I don't get to be the first one to use it, right?
Correct. Yeah,
so if they're attacking first, like, I'm giving them the free momentum instead of myself.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't necessarily love this card. I think it's. I think if we want to play green cards, I think the answer is just bracers. Just like just kill them. It's also a 1 diff, right? So we can play it super late. We can play it as our 5th card. Build 4 play grenaders, bracers at the end. If I pass it, I pass it. If I don't, I don't. Play a 0 diff at the very end of that and be like, oh, this is extra value. Okay, I built my 5 and a bracers. You're dead next turn. You're just dead. Yeah. Bakugo, destroy 1 foundation for +3 damage is insane. And then this thing just, like, at the very end, commit for an extra attack once you're out of resources. Super, super good.
Nice.
Foundations. So I'm gonna go through every foundation, and we're gonna just talk about the cool things that we'll see which ones you like and you don't like.
Sure.
Window shopping is form flip, play an attack, guarantee a check. That's totally fine for a 2/5/3 mid block on our aggro deck. Conflict of Ideologies is a card that says it is burst speed while on the board. After your Fury attack is not blocked, your rival loses 2 health. The thing that you do against Bakugo is you face tank everything. And so this now flips. I then commit it to pass a check. I then blow it up with Bakugo. This is 4 damage on 1 foundation on your 2/5/3 mid.
Nice.
League Interview, it's another 6 check. It says that the first move that you play this turn has +1 to your check. So whenever I'm forced to open with something big, I guess like forced to open with a howitzer, forced to open with a stun grenade, you can check a 3 on your stun grenade and you don't commit anything. All for losing the 2 cards off the top. It's a 6 check. I think it's fine. Room is what's gonna be tough.
Sure.
Surviving the Final. I think Surviving the Final is just a better card than Keen Observation. I'll go to my grave. This card is flip for +1 damage, and I think that's bad.
Nice.
Flip for +1 damage.
Yeah.
Like, why not just play more tight lips if this is the case?
Sure.
Right? Because this is on every move, and this is so situational. It's just here. It's just here.
Yeah.
I think we
and high blocks was not the problem that I was having. It was lows anyway. So
Go for the Win. So the reason I like Go for the Win this deck is it's so easy for you to get below your foundation count, and this is 2 foundations out of your hand. The other thing that you get
sure.
It's I'm gonna trade out this card in my hand to have 2 more on board to just help try and push and play more attacks, especially with things like Stun Grenade lifting cards up to my hand, Howitzer Impact Cyclone lifting cards up to my hand. I'm gonna destroy this committed foundation that I instead of blowing it up for +2 damage, it's now +2 resources. I get to play this on a 6 and then commit my extra resources. In addition to that, you also get to build these face down. and then when you destroy them from the top of your deck, you still get to respond to them. So like that still feels good.
Yep.
And this card also counts for the grenaders. And at the same time, right, like when it matters, my opponent is doing math of, oh, I can block this. Oh, you pass? All right, I'll slam this on my Blast Rush Turbo. It got +1/+3 from you blocking a thing earlier, so it's going to get another +3 speed, the thing that Bakugo doesn't really do. Just, you passed? All right, I'll respond, go for the win, I'll pass. This is now a 4, 5, 6, 7 low for a million, right? This could be a thing that just steals you the win. Night Watch cancels the thing, but that only if we're playing with the go for the wins. Encouragement, it's insane that he didn't put this card in your deck. This card is the best Bakugo card. It says after an unblocked attack resolves, discard it from your card pool. Right? The thing that you want to have happen, you want one card to leave. You want one card to leave every turn so that this thing is live. Right?
Yeah.
And now they get to sit there and you just get to hit them for free because it's like, oh, it's going to get discarded whether I block it or not. I have to save my cards. This card is amazing, especially on the turns that you're not going to kill them. It's just a poke. I'll play my Nitro Ignition. It's just I'll play my Stun Grenade. It's just the poke. They don't block it, and so you just stunned them one, drew your foundation. You don't even trigger the encouragement. You build 3 pass, and you look at them and go, yeah, this is still here next turn. You made a poor decision. I get my momentum. So nuts.
Perfect.
And the last thing is, first day of class, it says that whenever you go any move into Howitzer, you don't commit foundations for it.
Yeah, that's good.
Thoughts on all of this?
There's too much good stuff. That's the problem.
Hey, that's the game, man.
I mean, he's still a lopsided deck, but yeah, I like all of those different options. I'm with you on the Keen being survivals for sure.
I'm gonna put it in sideboard so it stays.
What was the Night Watch? Did we talk about that at all?
So Night Watch is it's a cancel. It says the C word, and that's insane. If my opponent has a thing that stops a damage pump, if my opponent has a thing that negates an attack, right? If I've checked any go for the wins, I now just get to cancel a thing for free. Also, it is a deadlock form that says you get to add Touch of Decay back to your hand. You get to add Howitzer Impact Cyclone back to your hand. And so it's just the slightest bit of my opponent went to 11. Okay, I'm just going to double play Howitzer Impact Cyclone on you. I'm down, right?
That makes sense.
It is a slower card, but it might just be this is the we've played the level 1 Bakugo, and my locals have figured out how to beat it. It's go to deadlock. Okay, well, here's my deadlock threat that's also a cancel. So I'm like trying to counter your counter with the Night Watch.
Yeah.
It's a one of at best. Maybe you side the second one in case that matchup happens. And honestly, they could just exist on the sideboard, right?
I think it was a card that we had in the initial version. Now that I'm thinking about as you're going through what it does. I guess over on the other side, on the foundation side, is there stuff that I'm heavy on? I'll be honest with you. Agitation, a lot of times agitates me. Because of the commit, right? Like the commit makes it kind of a pain in the ass. So.
It should be encouragement, and we got to find slots for 2 more.
Sure.
We'll do this so it stays on the table. Yeah. Encouragement has to be a 4 of in your deck.
Okay. I mean, maybe I'm long on the exciteds, but they're kind of the only middle ground that I sort of have. Like, there's not a lot of draw.
True.
Other than the howitzer stuff, like I don't get free draw like a lot of stuff does.
Yeah.
I mean, I know there's in fact, the last guy you were just talking to, there's the Endeavor Foundation there that lets me draw if I hit.
Not on your symbol.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. It's fire, right? Yeah.
So, stun grenade being draw power, impact cyclone being draw power, latent skill being draw power. Those are all good. I think the only issue, I would put Excited for Blood at a 4 of. I think the only issue with it is it's a 3 diff. And if you open up 2 of these on your build turn, you just don't get to play them both, right?
Yep.
I think that it's just a 2 of. This might just be to cut numbers and maybe like get this number down just a little bit. 55 cards, 22 attacks. It's a little attack heavy, but if you build 4 on turn 1 and then rip 4 attacks, they might just die.
Sure.
I don't love Apathetic in the main board. I think that Apathetic doesn't actually deserve to be here because of the forecheck. I think that if every single foundation you have here is a 5 or a 6 with Arrogant, I think that they exclusively need to be in the sideboard for what happens if they have an answer, right? I'm fighting against a Momo. First off, I don't think this character beats Momo.
No.
Even 1 out of 10 times. I think it's nigh impossible. With this lineup, I think there are Bakugo decks that can do it. I think that the there's I'm sure I've done some sort of list on it. The Relentless Barrage Bakugo. I think that character has a chance versus Momo, because you just play Barrage forever every time they block.
Yep.
I think this card just has to leave.
Okay.
I'll put it in the sideboard. So it's there. My personal opinion, I think you just slam 4 go for the wins, and then you just like see what happens.
Okay.
That's how I feel, because I think the one thing that stops this deck, or maybe it's like 2 first day. Actually, cutting that put us to 55. Man, I love first day in conjunction with Howitzer Impact Cyclone, but like, it is a tough sell. Right, you just commit it, respond, flip, re-ready it back up.
Yeah.
Let's look at our difficulties. Man. This is tough. This is super, super tough. Because I want full latent skills too.
Yeah, well, yeah. Latent's so good.
Yeah, it just like tries to let you not whiff. Maybe the answer is just to take back out the first days
and go with more latent, or with another latent.
Man, I just want this card in here too. We didn't even put back in the surviving. We just took the card out. Let's look at
I think it was at 60 flat when I started.
18 spams. 19 spam? No, that can't be true. 18 spams. Am I 31? I mean, that's a lot. You're gonna
keep in mind we took out
champ
4 zeros as well.
Yeah, but it just lowered the number, right? My question is like, how often are you gonna draw 4 foundations in your 55 card deck with 22 attacks, right? And that's the question. I think we might have to put cards back in, and I think it might just have to be the survivings just to give us cards back. I want it to be go for the win.
Yep.
But here's my thought on go for the win, right? We're already going to be trying to trade cards in hand for like things like snack time and latent skill. But this card says that if I have a where did it even go? Where is this? Okay, this card says that if I have a bad build on turn 1, I can try and recover that. Right? It's a bit of a it's either an extender or a safety net. Right?
And a good block.
I build 2, right? I build 3. My opponent builds 5. I play my stun grenade. I check a 3. I commit my 1. I don't blow up a Bakugo. I play go for the win on a 3. I check a 3, sure. Destroy the committed foundation. Build in the top 2. I now am playing with effectively a 4 foundation board, the one that I committed, and then these other 2, right?
Sure.
4 foundations is enough to kill somebody. This card counts as destroying a foundation for grenade bracers if it's out. It's
pretty versatile given all the stuff that's in the deck right now, for sure.
Yeah. My brain says that I want to put latent up to a 4 of, and then just slam 4 go for the wins, and then just make it happen. But if you don't like go for the win,
I haven't played with it. I watched you, so I tried to bring up go for the win in Rochester, and I got a lot of groans. So
fuck those guys.
That's what I said. I said, all right, I'm not going to be a nerd and put this in here then, so I'll wait and hold off. But
you should try it.
Yeah, I mean,
try it. This card's a real high.
It's not going to hurt, right?
Yeah.
Little Black Friday, my hero.
Look at this.
Give it a whirl.
60 cards. We fixed our low block count because of these go for the wins.
12.
You now get to sideboard your night watches.
Sure.
Yeah. If you absolutely need to, We could cut. We could cut like. I mean, that doesn't fix anything. If you absolutely need to, you could cut the grenade bracers for the survive of the final if you feel like you're really not building enough.
Okay.
Yeah. Besides that, man, I think this is what I played.
Looks good. Looks tight.
I think this attack lineup is just so schnutty. The biggest issue you're going to find is people are going to save a low block for this card. They have to, right? They just have to, which is why you're going to kill them with this. And when they do happen to block this thing, you just Howitzer Impact Cycle on them for 1,000,000.
Yeah. No, I like it.
Yeah.
I like it. Very cool.
I think I played like 4 matches versus one of Andrew Holder's locals, and he was playing essentially this attack lineup, and I think he got me like 3 out of the 4 matches as playing the Tokoyami list that Barrett won nationals with. He just slammed me.
It feels more Bakugo to me, honestly. Yeah. And there's a couple of different lines in there where you can pop off pretty well. Yeah, I like it.
Hell yeah, man. All right. Stay on the line long enough for me to shoot you the list. Thank you for the support on Patreon. Thanks for bringing me this awesome Bakugo list. I'm definitely gonna.
No problem.
I'm definitely stealing this. It feels super cool. All right.
Very cool.
We'll catch you next time. Okay.
Yep. Be well.
Peace.